Good evening and welcome to an edition of Friday Night Magpie Live on the eve of our trip down to Gillingham. Lots to discuss tonight. Our thanks, as always, to our official partners, JH Accountants and the Big Shed at the Trent Navigation. Now, I want to start off tonight before we get into some football debate. I'm sure both mine and everybody who's watching are very best wishes, our thoughts and prayers go out to, and I use the term deliberately, Notts superfan Kim Wolster. Kim, as many of you know, has been battling a very serious illness. She's in hospital and she's had taken a turn for the worse today. Father Tony has been posting messages on social media. Kim has been getting out to Notts games this season. Goodness only knows how, after all the rounds of chemotherapy that she's been happening. She is, I'm afraid, very poorly at the minute. I know a lot of Notts fans have been visiting her in hospital this week. All our thoughts and all our prayers go to Kim and to all her family. They truly are probably the most committed and passionate Notts County supporting family that I know of. Best wishes to Lois Bruff as well. Lois is struggling a little bit. She's had a fall. Lois, many of you will know, is one of the oldest active Notts County supporters. She's well into her 90s. She's had a bit of a fall. She is getting treatment. She is on the road to recovery. I believe she's watching tonight. So all our best wishes go to Lois. And sorry for really some of the bad news to start the show tonight. But as Ian Cooksey has pointed out, our former goalkeeper, Russell Holt, has unfortunately been diagnosed with terminal cancer. He's currently in palliative care. Again, all our very best wishes to Russell and all of his family. Okay, on to matters of the weekend and matters of the past few days. It's certainly been another eventful week in Notts County. Roberto Gagliardi left the club. Mutual agreement, call it what you will, announced on Wednesday. I think it came as a surprise to many in terms of the timing of it. And tonight I wanted to kind of broaden out that debate a little bit, both not just in terms of Roberto, we spoke about that on Wednesday night show, but to talk a little bit more about how important do you think the role of director of football is? It's a relatively new position, newer in English football than compared to European football, where it has become more mainstream. In the past 7 days, since the transfer window closed, Roberto Gagliardi has left Notts County. Notts' former head of recruitment, director of football, Richard Montague, was shown the door by Swansea last night, which has prompted, quite understandably, debate about whether Richard might be returning to Notts in a not dissimilar position to replace Roberto Gagliardi. And even at the top end of the game, David Weir, who was technical director at Brighton, he's also lost his position. So all those positions, people have left their jobs in the space of the past 48 hours, which I'm sure is no coincidence with the transfer window shutting down last week. What do we think? Is it essential part of the modern game? Is there not enough time now for head coaches and managers to be able to scout players as well as coach, pick a team and get 3 points on Saturday? Or is it, if you like, another superfluous tier in football of analysts, sports scientists? Many clubs, certainly at League Two level, operate without that director of football, a more traditional manager model with a direct relationship into either the chief executive or to the owner themselves. That would certainly be the case, for instance, at the likes of Mansfield, who've done pretty well. What are your thoughts on that whole position? Off to Gillingham tomorrow, we will be going. I haven't sold quite as many tickets as I thought they might have done. It's about 500 we've sold. It's a difficult place to get at by road. It's quite expensive on the train. Busy in London tomorrow. 5 Premier League matches, Forest at Arsenal, 2 political marches. So promises to be a bit of a lively trip down there and a busy trip down there. Let us know if you're making the journey down there. Jody Jones will be travelling in Notts' squad. Martin Patterson has reported today that he trained and therefore will be in the squad. Jody pulled out of the Malta squad earlier this week through some form of injury, so that's good news. Would you keep the same team that won last weekend, or would you bring Jody back? He's normally an established first teamer. What would your thoughts be on that? We can all play being head coach for a week or so. And congratulations to Matty Dennis. He's won League 2 Player of the Month, top scorer in the division with 6 goals, richly deserved, certainly made an instant mark on his career at Notts County. Great start, and his goals have helped turn around Notts after those opening couple of games when it didn't look quite so good. Thoughts on Martin Patterson's presser today? For me, he's morphing into Martin Allen more and more. I mean, I really like his pressers. You know, I thought they were good. I like the comments he makes about it being a team award. I like that kind of. It's not a put down, is it? But when he was talking about Matty Dennis, you know, well, that's what he's paid to do. I like that sort of thing. You know, you want a head coach who's in charge, and you want, you know, and the players need to know who's in charge. So I thought it was good. They're certainly very entertaining, I have to say, and I think intense is the word that we've used from day one with Martin. And I think he possibly becomes even more intense as the season carries on. Let's just get a few thoughts from the flock before we start to discuss a little bit about director of football. David Dawes says, if Jody Jones was fit, I would put him in place of Gordon. I'm guessing, David, you are in favour of bringing back inverted, the I word, mustn't swear. Royston, let's round off the week with a win. Ian Cooksey, start JJ on the bench. Don't change a winning team unless you have to. Greta Maxwell, fingers crossed for Kim. All my thoughts and prayers are with her and family. Ian Cooksey making mention of Russell Holt. And again, all our best wishes go with him. Lippy Jane, evening all, and offering her best sentiments and good wishes to Kim and her family. Steve Cartwright, football comes second this weekend. Let's all pray for Kimbo. Ian Cooksey, all our thoughts are with Kim, her family, and friends. Evening from Elvis Bott and from Karen Knight. Bud Chatwin, evening all, my first Friday night live. Leave Jody on the bench and bring him on after 60 minutes. Get well soon, Lois, says Gaza Lee. All my thoughts with Kim's family. And Kim says Maggie Grant. Stephen Newton. Hey up, Lois. So sorry to hear about your fall. Get well soon. Love from Stephen and Carol. This is a different moniker. Dad La Soul JES. No idea where that one comes from. Explanation, please, Dad. A director of football is required, says Dad, if we are serious about building the club. We just need to get the right one! Exclamation mark. Ian Cooksey, with the system the club operates, the DOF is obviously an important position, Personally, for me, I would like to see a director of football who has played the game. That's something we'll discuss in a moment, Ian. I'd love to see Richard Montague return, says Dad Lassalle Jess. Evening from PJ Defiance, Steve Cartwright. I just don't think recruitment met our expectations, and I don't think we are any better than last season. Dave Hartshaw, evening Paul. Jody would be my first choice week in and week out, but he should start on the bench tomorrow. Gaza Lee, can tickets be purchased tomorrow at Gillingham, says Gaza Lee. Don't honestly know. Flock will, I'm sure, tell you. I'd like to think, given that we will have not sold out our allocation, and it is quite a large away end, if I remember right, I would be very surprised if you can't. However, please don't take that as gospel. I'm sure someone else will be able to advise accordingly. PJ Defiance, he's got someone he'd like to see as director of football, Mr. Neil Warnock. There you go. Right. Director of football. My thoughts. I think with the model that the brothers operate, that clearly they are going to look, I would believe, for a replacement and continue the director of football model. I'm a tad nervous about it, if you like. I think in this country, it's very difficult to get a truly aligned, that's the buzzword. Swansea used aligned in their departure statement for Richard Montague. It's the new buzzword in football, isn't it now? I think it's very hard to get an alignment between head coach or manager and the director of football. The brothers clearly are not the sort of people that micromanage the club, which I think is good. So therefore, they need to empower somebody to have overseeing responsibility for recruitment. In many cases, that would be a chief executive at a League Two level club. But I think, as I've mentioned to you before, chief exec here does not have responsibility for football recruitment or direct footballing operations. I think Martin Patterson is someone, and he again towed the party line today. I'm not sure he's at his most comfortable with a director of football, if you like. I think he's direct. I think he will certainly accommodate what people wish. But for me, whatever anybody says, I don't think there was any true alignment between him and Roberto. And the reality is that because we took so long to appoint the head coach, half of these players had been brought in before we had any head coach, which I think is dangerous in any case. And it would appear that the head coach does not have a massive input into the recruitment of players. Now, one of the many rumours that have swirled around about the departure centred on the budget. And several people are adamant that that budget was fully spent and some. And the brothers have come out and said the budget was the strongest they've ever given in their tenure as owners of this football club. And I think a lot of us, me included, will be left scratching our heads a little bit if that's the strongest budget we've had and we've spent it all. First point, why on earth didn't we retain the services of David McGoldrick? And secondly, personal view, I don't think we have anywhere near the creativity that we had last year. And I think that there are imbalances in the squad. I think where we are shy, we literally have two strikers fit and available. Although Martin did say that Jaden Luca is ahead of recovery. For me, if either of Dennis or Jatta are injured, I think we are exposed big time. I think we are weak from a point of view in terms of depth of goalkeeper, and I don't think there's a lot of margin for error with injuries with centre halves, and that's kind of most of the spine of your team. Yet we appear to have an abundance of wing backs and midfielders. And it kind of seemed under Roberto's watch that we were signing players in positions through which we already had adequate cover and weren't addressing the really key positions, notably centre forward. So I suspect that probably didn't help Roberto's cause. But even in the Premier League, where I guess you have to have that seniority of position, a technical director of a director of football, most of the productive ones, I can tell you at Manchester City, for instance, Pep, the main man, the global main man, he kind of has the say on who the director of football is. Yeah, he kind of in recommended the director of football, and they came as a team and worked together. Eddie Howe fell out big time with the director of football at Newcastle, and he left at the start of the season. His first quotes when he joined Newcastle was he came in and said Newcastle's transfer activity had been very poor. That's a great start, isn't it? And one of the principal reasons of the fallout just over the river at Forest was the appointment of Edu into an overseeing global director of football role, which Nuno felt, if you like, undermined his direct relationship with the chairman. So I see why not have one. I'm not sure at League Two level whether it's a fairly expensive excess. And as I said before, if you appoint the right manager, if you have true confidence in your head coach, whatever you want to call him, for me, he has to have more of a say, at least an equal say, with as the director of football, and then the owners can decide on budget and all the rest of it. I struggle with it, if you like. This whole DOF analysts, you name it, role. For me, it's a huge burgeoning cottage industry within football clubs, and I'm not actually sure it benefits. It works at some clubs, it doesn't work at others. People will point to Notts having done pretty well under it, having gone to this end of the data spectrum. One of the lower league clubs that is held up as, if you like, a shining example of recruiting players selling on for profit is Peterborough United. And they've got some guy who's about 80 years old called Barry Fry, who knows leagues, clubs, contacts better than just about in the lower leagues and non-leagues, better than anybody actively out there. And they go completely a different way in terms of Barry's contacts book and speaking to people to get players in. So there is no definitive right or wrong way. And there are good examples and there are bad examples of both. Okay, let's get a few more thoughts from the flock. I'm another one who would like Richard Montague to return, says Dave Hartshawn. Lippy Jane, I would like to see a director of football who doesn't live in London and isn't seen very often, she says rather cryptically. Elvis Bott, keep the same side against Gillingham unless injuries, so Jody starts on the bench. PJ Defiance, yes, I heard that the budget had been spent on wages. Greza Maxwell, let's just say he's not in the Roberto fan club. I'll delete the first bit, and he's particularly critical of goalkeeping recruitment. But Chatwin need to send some players out on loan, so we have money available in January. Ian Cooksey, if we are to have a director of football, let's hope he's appointed in the next few weeks, especially if recruitment is going to be key in January. Elvis Bott, any news on Lewis Macari? Now, the Walsall player has been given his ban for betting on games. Mr. Elvis, how long did he get? But no timescale that I am aware of. Andy Walton, loving the shirt, Paul. Was you a jockey in your younger years? Crikey, it'd have needed to have been a big horse. Why it would have just collapsed and not moved. This you will remember. This, I think, was one of the very first kits. Not, it was one of the retro kits. They are quite a Marsden Smooth. Yeah, long sleeved. Look, Wedderburn. I think he was on loan from Derby. It's a match issue one. I think he played all of about one game or something. But yeah, these are pretty rare. I don't know. I'm presuming whether Greza has got one of these or as either a replica or match worn. Linda Lou. Roberto did make some good signings. If you listen to the Dennis interview, said on Wednesday, Linda, on that the star signing, and it's been so far a very, very good signing. Matty Dennis was very, very good. We are exposed in other areas, and that's not me. That was the head coach for about 3 weeks, until I think he was told to tone it down a little bit. Excuse me. Gazali, see that McCleary was banned for 2 games for simulation. Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was really harsh. Gosport Magpie. I was sat next to Barry Fry at the playoff final at Wembley, and you included the tale in your book. Indeed, I did. Barry described Notts as a proper football club. That's very kind of him to say so. Okay, right. Dates for your diary. So is now confirmed. Friday, October the 24th. Raddy Ramovic and special guests. So I've been speaking to several other players from that era, and we're getting some of those out as well. So Raddy's coming over with his wife Bratislava. It's the first time he's been back to Nottingham for over 20 years, and he's now in his mid to upper 70s. He is in good health. Did have a cancer scare himself a few years ago, but he's in good health now. So he's really looking forward to coming back. And the trip we're putting on for him involves him doing a live fans show, a podcast show, but it won't be broadcast as such, on Friday, October the 24th at the Navy, in the big shed. Blankets will be available if the weather takes a turn for the worse. We're keeping the prices at a tenner, and this is a 3-line whip to anyone who is 55 and above, right? No apologies will be accepted. None at all. You need to buy your ticket for a little place in history for Raddy's first visit back to here. For me, the best goalkeeper we've had, I don't know, 80 years since the war. Brilliant keeper. Brilliant keeper. He's looking forward to meeting up with everyone. So it's a tenner. Tables of 10, 100 quid. You can contact me now to reserve them. Greza, well played to him, has already taken out a table for 10. You get there, you're right at the front then. And we will also be having all the available video highlights of that era. So Notts 3, Forest 2, Ipswich 1, Notts County 4, Aston Villa 0, Notts County 1, Sunderland 1, Notts County 1 with a Rashid free kick that was disallowed, and plenty of others. So this is a night when we go back to the 80s, if you like. It's not a Butlins reunion, but you get the drift. Tickets will be on sale from Monday night after the show. Now we're expecting a bumper attendance for this one, so no apologies will be accepted. Everyone needs to get themselves down there, spend a night with Raddy. You can have your photos taken with Raddy. I'm sure El Tel will be there with his little book. He likes his Notts County goalkeepers. Raddy's always said to me he will happily sign and pose for photographs. We don't charge extra at our dues like they do at some others, so you can have a photograph with the player. Some of Raddy's teammates will also also be in attendance. I'll be confirming those as we go along. Friday, October the 24th, we're flying him in from Belgrade in Serbia. He was guest of honour for England's, was it 5 we scored in the end, midweek win in Belgrade. He will also be the guest of honour, I've arranged that with the club, for the game on the Saturday afternoon. So Notts v Cambridge. Raddy will be the guest of honour, so you'll be able to see him at the game as well. Right, that's the plug for that one. Expecting a full house for that one. So act quickly when those tickets go on sale. Let's just go back to the Walsall player. He got a 5-month ban, suspended for 12 months. So put into English, I'm sure Darren has got it right, Darren Brooks. That means he doesn't serve any actual suspension of matches. It's suspended. Fingers crossed for Lewis. Derek Flowers just tuned in. We've been in Llandudno and up the Great Orme on the tram. As you do. I trust you had a good time, Derek. You'll certainly be one that's got to get in a table of 10 for Raddy. I'm absolutely sure. Gazali, Greza has already won Raddy's shirt. Yeah, yeah. No, he won't be winning it. I do actually know, I'm not going to say who it is, but I do know that Raddy's shirt that he wore in the victory at Chelsea that put us into the top flight of English football, I do know who's got that shirt. I do know. We might even try and reunite that shirt if the gentleman concerned comes along, and we can have a photo of Raddy with his shirt from the Chelsea game. And Elvis points out that Jamie Jellis, who's the person that got the 5-month suspension, was also fined £1,200. Bud Chatwin, Raddy was the best keeper, followed by Steve Cherry and Darren Ward. But for those who remember, I think Roy Brown was awesome. I thought Roy Brown was very good. I also think he was very small, but he had a brilliant penalty saving record. This will be the first goalkeeper that I can remember. Barry Watling. Barry's still around. I think he watches this show sometimes, still keeps in touch. Casper takes some beating, says Gasly. I think that's very true. Ian Cooksey, we're going through all the keepers. Eric McManus. No one will ever forget Eric's performance in a cup tie at Derby, where he more or less single-handedly kept Derby at bay. PJ Defiance also just sending his best wishes to Russell Holt's family. Greza Maxwell, Gasly, I'll pay for the table if you come. Myself, my son and son-in-law are coming. I'll get Salty to come as well. Yeah, so Greza's filling his table of 10 already. Okay. Gillingham tomorrow. Right. What do we think? Tough game. You know, Gillingham are one of the 4 form teams in the country, top of the league. Scored an equaliser in the 97th minute. Gareth Ainsworth, he's used to winning football matches. Did very, very well at Wycombe. What do we think? I just got a sneaky feeling we might do all right. You know, I think this game is kind of the sort of match that Pato will really relish. Think he likes a challenge, thinks he likes a test. And that, you know, I'm hopeful we might surprise Gillingham a little bit in this one. The acid test, I guess, for us this year is we've not played too many teams in the top half or the top 6 of the table yet. I don't think we've played any of them. You know, we've played several teams in the bottom half. And that's a good point by Bud, who's just said Gillingham won Manager of the Month, so they will lose. It is a curse, isn't that? It is a curse, that one. Yeah, I think we stand a half decent chance. Personally, I'll be going the same team. Be interested to see whether he sticks with 2 up top. You know, we've gone for about 4.5 years with playing 1 striker, and more or less the first available game that Pato can play 2 up top he went with it, didn't he? Brought Jatta on in the second half at Tranmere, went two up top, won the game. Two up top against whoever it was last week, Fleetwood, and we beat them. Why not take it to the league leaders? Why not take it to the league leaders? As Ian Cooksey says, next 3 away games we'll have more of an indication on whether we're able to compete at the top end of the table this year. Gillingham, Crewe, and Swindon are our next 3 games. Adam Kent. Adam, evening all, just finished work. First Friday night podcast for me. Talking about goalkeepers, I remember watching a reserve match with Steve Cherry advising a youth team player on how to save penalties. Yeah, of course, you forget that, when Steve was in goal for us, we are now talking 30 years ago, and penalty saving has now become so much more of a science, hasn't it? The bottles, all the little instructions are pasted onto it, left, right, for that player, this player, and they have to drink, look at the instructions, and then presumably it's predetermined which way that they're going to dive based on previous history of the player. Whereas back in Ches's day, and certainly Barry Watling's day, I think he saved 5 or 6 on the bounce. And that was in the days, there were never any 4th division or 3rd division matches on the telly, so this was all intuition rather than preparation. Gosport Magpie. I heard Gareth Ainsworth press conference. Yeah, it was on Sky, wasn't it, earlier? He was very respectful of Notts. Notts seemed to play well at Priestfield. Loved Macari's belter there 2 years ago. Yeah, it was a great finish into our end, wasn't it? Adam Kent's got a theory. Basically stand slightly off centre and dive towards the side with more area exposed. Is Adam Kent a goalkeeper in his past? Greza Maxwell, I think he's after something or other. I'll trade you the blue and black striped one. The one with the Juventus badge on it. Alan Cotty. Yes, I do remember that about Barry Watling. I was thinking he saved 5 in a row too. Gaza Lee, no one better. Yeah, it's hard to disagree, isn't it? No one better than Archie Mayer on penalties. Indeed. So what are our thoughts on Gillingham? Do you feel confident? Do you think we're going to get found out a bit playing currently the form team in the division, although we're not particularly far behind? How many of you are making the journey? Mark Stellard, my co-presenter, he's raided the BBC Radio Nottingham piggy bank with Adam Hassel, and a late decision for them to go down. They're already down there or en route down there. Not sure if they're in a Medway Travel Lodge or Premier Inn or Holiday Inn Express, but they've gone down there. Excuse me. Sally Jones, commend Roy Carroll for services to team game management. Roy, yeah, like Roy, did a brilliant podcast for us, unbelievable podcast. It's worth going back through our archives. Wonderful stories about his dad being a Notts fan. Ian Cooksey, didn't know this. Ian, is this right? Notts fans are down the side tomorrow rather than in the stand. He says it's the golf stand, in the stand behind the goal. I didn't know that. Is that right, Ian? You sure? Right. I've just got my ticket and I've not really looked. Greza Maxwell, he's got his fingers and thumbs. I'll trade you the blue-black away shirt for my aftershave range called Stoke Bardolph on a summer's day. I thought you were going to be saying Aramis or Koros, I think, from my days ago into Madison's. I think they were all, that was Brute wasn't it? Henry Cooper and Kevin Keegan. What was the immortal advertising line? Splash it all over. Was that it? Was that? Am I imagining that, or was that true? Adam Kent. It's nice going to top of the table and not be worried that we're going to be bullied. I like the battling attitude we have shown so far this season, and I think everybody would echo those comments, Adam. I guess it's whether how we're going to fare against better teams. You know, Salford schooled us a bit, didn't they? Hopefully now with the run of form that we're on, bit of momentum. Never ever underestimate confidence in a professional footballer's makeup. Let's see what we can do. And I think also, it's a big afternoon as it always is for Calaroos. He got his clean sheet last week, which will have helped him. There's no question that will have helped him get with a clean sheet. And you would suspect for us to be getting a result tomorrow, he'll be kept a little bit busier than he might normally be when he's going to the league leaders. I suspect Gillingham will be whacking in a few balls and all the rest of it to test him early on. Gareth Ainsworth is if you like, a wily old fox when it comes to management. He knows how to win games and he knows how to win them ugly as well as by playing a bit of football. So I think I'm actually really looking forward to the game. I'm really looking forward to the game. Bit of a schlep down there. I'm going on the train from Grantham, which is a tad of an error because I'll be on a train that's coming from Leeds, and Leeds are at Fulham. So there we go. I'll just have to remind them of when we beat them in 1975 midweek League Cup. Hunter, Reaney, Giles, Cholton, Harvey, Clark, I can't remember them all, and we beat them, didn't we? Super Ian Scanlon. Ian Cooks is saying, yeah, definitely we're in the Gordon Road stand tomorrow undercover. So if it rains, we won't get wet. So I guess that's something to be thankful for. And to be fair, I quite like being down the side. You get a slightly better view, don't you, than being in that end. Okay. Greza Maxwell. Calaroos needs to change his glove supply from Lurpak to Adidas. Greza, come on. Hey, we're all in this together. Community spirit, battling spirit, fighting spirit, and all of that. Okay, what else have we got on the message boards? You're strangely quiet. Oh, I tell you what, no one's mentioned this. Only happened a few hours ago. Matt Saunders, remember Matt? And the interview he gave. He has reappeared on the football circuit. He's been given the manager or head coach's job at Bracknell Town. I think they're Southern League. I think that's been announced earlier today with his brother. Didn't team back up with our former head coach, who he was with at Notts, with Stuart Maynard. Stuart went with Yao Alves at York, and Stuart been getting a few good results at York. But yes, you may not have seen it, but Matt Saunders has just been appointed manager alongside his brother as a coach at Bracknell Town. That was announced today. Duncan Comrie. Evening, everyone. I'm going for a Notts win tomorrow. Their run has to end, so why not us? Adam Kent. Jody expected to make an appearance tomorrow. Yeah, the Martin Patterson confirmed today that he has trained, so he travels down with the squad. I think a lot of people were not expecting him to be involved at all because he was injured for the last game. Moulton returned early. PJ Defiance, yes. Richard Brindley posted a tweet, picture, Facebook post, I don't quite know, saying he's got engaged. Richard now down on the south coast at Eastleigh. So congratulations to Richard. Always, friend of the show, very good talker. We had some good chats on the show with Richard. So congratulations to him on getting engaged to be married with his partner. partner. Well, that's a positive note. At least to end the night. Anything else you want to bring up? Flash it up quite quickly on the message boards. If not, early to bed tonight, long trip. Oh, Ian Haywood, you just arrived. We're about to wrap up. Evening all, says Ian Haywood. You'll have to watch it on the recorded version, Ian. We're about done, I think. So thank you, one and all. Keep an eye out. Feel free to come say hello tomorrow en route down to Gillingham. I think those of us going by public transport on the train, I think a lot of us will be, I think it's something like the 12:20 from St Pancras International, gets into Gillingham just after 1 o'clock. So plenty of Notts fans, I suspect, on that one. We'll be doing a vlog tomorrow. We'll also do a Sunday supplement show on Monday, when hopefully we can talk about 3 points. And we'll also be back on Monday with our main Monday night show with Mark Stallard. I've telepathically answered Ian Cooks's question. Any Sunday show this week? Yes. So thank you, one and all. Notts will draw tomorrow, I think, says Greza. That's a positive result for me. Adam Kent, busy day around London tomorrow. Safe travels. Indeed, it is. I don't think too many police have got a day off tomorrow. But look, we will be fine. We will be fine. Safe travels, as has been mentioned by Adam. See you all Sunday morning. Do a vlog tomorrow and be back with Stel on Monday evening. Thank you very much. Have a great Friday evening, whatever it is you're doing, going out down to the pub, having a quiet meal in, going to bed early, getting yourself to be at optimum capacity for tomorrow's game. PJ defines, what are the chances of you being able to get Danny Allsop or Paul Heffernan for an interview? Yeah, I got close to Danny Allsop. This is a random one. So obviously back in his native Australia, he works in a car. He's a car automotive sales manager, something like that. So I kind of tracked down the dealership on LinkedIn and I dropped him a note, but didn't get any further. So I took that as he didn't want to be reminded too much of Notts County. Paul Heffernan, I think he's managing, isn't he? I want to say Limerick, but I'm probably not right. In Southern Ireland somewhere. A win tomorrow, says Ian Haywood. Come on, you pies. Pie Life, good show as usual. Thank you. Dave Hartshorn, journey to come on after 70 minutes. Scores winner in the 85th minute. I'm sure he'll need no incentive, will he, Dave? Wasn't it Gillingham that clogged him last year, that put him out for quite a while? I'm sure Martin will have a word with him and saying that the best way to hurt Gillingham tomorrow is not by smacking one of them, but by scoring a goal. I used to say that to my Sunday morning lot. If you want to hurt someone in football, don't hit them, score a goal. Or Gary McSwegan, Gasly, there's another name. Yeah, I do speak to Gary a little bit. Up in Glasgow, he football agency, football representation, I believe. Top guy. Very intelligent man, a very intelligent man. Thank you always. Right, we'll get going. I've not had my tea yet. I was late in the gym today. Thank you ever so much indeed. We will see you all over the weekend. Safe travels to the Priestfield Stadium. We're in a different end, or we're down a side now. So thank you for the info on that. See you all tomorrow. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.